Hello guys, my name is Alex Gomez and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to take you through my process of creating Ana de Armas stylized version. In some of the cases, to bring to life, per se, an stylized character from a design is easier. But gathering photographs and try to uh, put that likeness into a stylized character is a little bit hard and requires a lot of practice. I personally rather have kind of like a sketch or have a 2D concept to get that character done and for me to be able to start the sculpting process. But in some cases, I just go straight to the source, which are the photographs, and start sculpting basing on those ones. It kind of like saves you a little bit of time, but when you have a 2D design, it's easier to get those results. So pretty much in this process, I start with the blockout. So I do the sphere, a cylinder for the neck, two spheres for the eyes. Then I duplicate the sphere of the eyes and cut it in half to do the upper eyelids and lower eyelids. Also, I use a sphere for the ears as well. After that process is done and I have the full blockout, I start working on the face and giving some details, like for example the nose, not very into details, but mostly like kind of like putting marks where the mouth is gonna be, where the nose is gonna be. I kind of like trying to shape it a little bit more. I know like sometimes I go a little bit like over with the details, but then I see Zremesh and I have kind of like to do them again. But it's nice to kind of like see how your character is looking before you're getting into Zremesh. At least an overall of if you're achieving that likeness in that process when you have your geometry dynameshed. Then I merge down with the eyelids subtool and dynamesh both of like dynamesh the head and the eyelids, and I start smoothing it out those intersections between them, so it kind of like it gets and filling out those gaps, so it kind of like smooths out and it feels much better. And I do the same process exactly with the neck and with the ears. And I keep adding in some more details, kind of working a little bit in the proportions, adding more volume in the lips, creating those nostrils, and yeah, just making sure. And in this process, I just kind of like merge everything, and even the eyeballs. So I kind of like I messed it up. So I had to go and mask out the eyeballs and just bring that geometry down and make another set of eyeballs because I totally messed it up like super bad there, and it didn't take that long to redo. You just have to take like the eye mask the eyeball and just push it in and it will be better. So no big deal, you know, you always have to find a solution, and if you want to be in this industry, in the 3D industry, you always have to be like a problem solving. That's like a really, really good skill to have if you want to work in the animation industry. Then I do my Zremesh with my Zremesh curves or guides that you can see a video that I have. I'm gonna leave the link in the description where to find that video on how to Zremesh and have a really nice topology for your character. And after that, I just subdivide it a couple of times and start adding more details and working more in the mouth. And in this case, I just kind of like opening the mouth a little bit so I can add some teeth to it. And for the teeth, just like a plain cylinder that I just put it in there and kind of like scale it on the x-axis a little bit and work on those lips. But now that I have a cleaner mesh, more with a nice topology. It's not like the perfect, excellent topology for animation. No, it's just like a nicer topology just to have a good UVs and you know, you can get nice texture maps from it. As I always say in my videos, this is just for illustration purposes. It's not for production. If you want to learn from production, I will make some tutorials about how to create like stylized characters and topologize those ones with for production, animation for production purposes. But that takes long. It's quite a big not big, but it's, you have to spend several hours try to get a good topology for the full character. But once it's sculpted, you have all the proportions, it shouldn't be that hard. There's like a really good software to do that, 3Code, Topogon, Blender. I normally use Maya for that case, and that's it. So for the eyebrows, I kind of like do the same, extract and accept and mask, extract and accept, and I get a nice pair of eyebrows, and then I start like a Zremesh them and move them like as I wish. And this is a simple part to make the eyes. So I normally kind of like bring the eyes like that a little bit. I don't use these eyes for my final characters. I just do it as a reference for now to see how my character is looking, and if I'm lacking or if I'm missing something, or if there's because this is the thing, like the eyes, it gives a lot of expression and a lot of character to your character per se. And I do the same process with the eyelids, and you can see in my other videos that I walk you through how to extract and accept and Zremesh the eyelids and the eyebrows. Then I move a little bit in the Polypaint. Polypaint is just kind of like I fill the object with the skin color. Then I start adding. Sometimes I do kind of like the clown pass, that you fill the character with reds for the middle of the face, blues for the bottom of the face, kind of like the chin and stuff, and yellows on top. But in this case, I just added a little bit of red, add the lips color, and just blend a little bit those skin and red, and add a little bit of freckles. I don't want to get very kind of like a realistic skin, because this is not a realistic character. So exactly the same I'll do with the lower eyelids for the eyelashes. So same, accept and extract and Zremesh, and then you get them, and they're done. So you can get really nice results. So it all depends on practice and how you want to get those eyelids. But for the head has kind of like it needs a little bit more of a shape in the back, I guess. I'm not sure, but that's gonna be covered with the hair, so I don't care as much. So I do the same process for the eyelashes, eyebrows, and the hair. So I just mask the hair, and then I Zremesh, and I have it right there, kind of like extract. Make sure when you guys are masking and extracting that you turn off the mask, because sometimes you get back and the mask is being covered by the new geometry that you guys added, and that kind of like mess you up a lot. So then I kind of like do the hair and add some details to it, and I use a brush that you guys can grab my brush for free in my Gum Brush store. I'm gonna leave the link in the description below. And I kind of like add those kind of like strands kind of thing. And this one is the one that I use a lot, the bend curve. So I take a sphere, scale it, and use the bend curve and accept. And it's super useful, that one. I really like to use it for hair strands. And then after I have like the kind of like the blockout of the hair, I add some strands with a hairbrush that I got a while ago, but I should make my own and give it to you guys for free as well. So I will let you know in future tutorials. So if you see, I follow the same process, a sphere, right there, bend curve, and accept, and then probably duplicate that one and just put in the next and just modify it. So it kind of like gives a little bit of difference, and it's not that you're kind of like repeating the same shape, but you just give it some variation so that doesn't look like the same. I find when you have like parts of a character that everything is the same, like it kind of like throws you off. It doesn't look that good, but it's good to duplicate, use the same piece and modify it. never leave the same pieces the same, because it's not gonna look right. Like if you see in the hair and stuff like that, nothing is the same. Like every single piece is different. Even when I'm putting my hairs like that, even I'm using a symmetry to add in the hair strands. After I add all the hair strands, I break that symmetry and start moving my strands independently, like different from one side to the other, just to create that asymmetric thing. Because it looks better. It looks better in my opinion. When I have the strands, I put them all together and I pretty much polygroup all. So every single strand is going to be a polygroup, so I can move them independently, and that's how I create my asymmetry for the hair. Then I jump into the body, and it's just like creating with primitive shapes, just spheres. So I create the upper torso, the abdominal part, I create the chest, the breast. I kind of like duplicate those ones to make the shoulders might as well, that I have them there already. And then I create I kind of like deleted by accident those ones. But then I create the arms. And it's pretty simple, this process. Just kind of like building a mannequin, pretty much is what it is. So make sure that you have a lot of references for that, like a kind of like a blockout mannequin stuff. And once I have all of them, I start merging them and Dynamesh and start polishing them. And after I'm happy with that, kind of like I start doing the shirt. And for the shirt, I leave the neck free, I mask it, and I extract the same process as I do. It's pretty much the same process as I do with the eyebrows and eyelashes and so on. And I do a little bit of modifications to the geometry with the C modeler here, so I can get like a nicer, like a color. So I can get a nice color, and then I can extrude that out, that little part or that edge in the neck, go all the way straight and start moving it like that, just to add the color of the shirt. So in these cases, when I'm doing that, I always make sure that I'm working with my poly frame on. And as you can see, like you're gonna have like three different poly groups: the extrusion, that is the thickness, the new kind of like a cap, and the underneath. And I always delete the underneath because I'm not gonna need it, I'm not gonna see it. So anyways, I do that. I add some details to it. It's a raised Zremesh. I just kind of like add some resolution, and I kind of like modify it a little bit, and some folds, and make it look nice. But once I have this done, I kind of like cut the arms and cut the bottom as well, so I don't see them as much. It's just a boss, and I kind of like didn't have the time to kind of like cut the whole thing. And this is pretty much my process, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you really like this process. If you want to learn more about these characters, I have full tutorials here, and I'm gonna show you in my other videos that I have in the description as well, if you want to get into stylized characters. If you have any questions, please let me know. Follow me in my social medias, TikTok, Instagram, ArtStation. I'm gonna leave all those links below, and if you want to support me, like buy any of my products on Gumroad store. Okay guys, so have an amazing weekend. Sorry for being so lost lately, but I had COVID. I have a super busy month besides being sick, but I'm back, and I promise you that I'm gonna bring more content to you guys, not just time lapses and talk over my time lapses, but also more in detail tutorials. That's something that I really want to bring value to you guys. So take care and have an amazing weekend. See you. Bye.